Episode 3, just guys being dudes playing some football. We're going to talk about it, but not just any type of football, some Southeastern Ohio football. We have some MVL, FAC, TVC Ohio, TVC Hocking action, and we're more than excited to show it to you guys. There's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory. What's up and welcome to the third episode of Gridiron Glory Season 21. I'm Joseph Hennessy, and I'm going to be rocking around the studio talking about some Southeastern Ohio high school football. Crooksville battled Philo in a high-scoring affair. Jackson traveled to Bulldog territory. Federal Hocking played for win number 2, and the Lyman get some love tonight. Thank you to the Athens cheerleaders for letting me borrow the pom-poms, by the way. And first, we're going to start with the TVC Ohio. The Alexander Spartans game against Byrne Union got off to a pretty unique start. The first play led to an ejection. Can't make that up. TVC Ohio reporter Ethan Sands is here with me, and Ethan, Caleb Easley, and Matthew Brown had themselves a game along with that crazy start.
Joseph, that may have been the craziest start that I've ever seen. And yes, Caleb Easley and Brown were on a mission tonight, and they did what they had to do. The Byrne Union Rockets were hyped and ready to go. Caleb Easley then is getting ready to step back in the pocket, but let's see this right here. Before tossing a dime to Chase Seifert for a 22-yard reception, and he drags his man to get some extra yards after the catch. Easley then fakes to the handoff, but let's wait. Let's toss the ball back to the reception and into the end zone. Give me some high step or a high step or two. Celebrate with your teammates, why don't you? Byrne Union wants to get back into this one, and what better way than with a pitch play. Nick Heilman breaks right, then cuts back up the middle. Might have been a push in the back here, but oh well, and finishes the carry by the left pylon for the touchdown. Somebody get that man some oxygen. Easley then comes back with another dime piece, this time to Matthew Brown, who says, "Get off me, sir," and walks into the end zone. And then, who doesn't love some special teams? After the muff, Michael Kelly breaks off 2 defenders and flies down the middle of the field, shaking and baking his way across the 50, before being brought down, setting up the Spartans with great field position. Easley showing off the arm tonight, hits Brown again in the middle of the field, making this one look way too easy. And these guys get up for the celebration. The Spartans run away with this one, 33-12.
This was a high-scoring game for Alexander, who was the top player in tonight's game, and what did they do that was so dominant? Do you think it was Easley?
Joe, the player that stood out to me tonight was Easley, point blank, period. He had 3 total touchdowns by halftime, with 2 through the air and 1 on the ground. Easley was someone I had the pleasure of watching last year, and his confidence and swagger on the field have gone up on multiple levels. His passing game is way ahead of where it was last year. Matthew Brown was responsible for both TDs through the air, and let me tell you, these weren't bubble screens. That turned into big plays. Easley and Brown connected downfield on both scores. Kudos to the offensive coordinator for using the height and speed advantage of Brown against the Byrne Union defense. And speaking of defense, the Spartans allowed barely any breathing room for the Rockets. Running game was stopped after the first touchdown, and when they tried to switch to the air, there was nothing doing there either. It was a rough day at the office, to say the least, for Byrne Union, and the Spartans played their game on both sides of the field. Were able to dominate the possession of football as well. Alexander simply outplayed Byrne Union, and it's because they had Caleb Easley doing whatever he wanted on defense and making big stops in the backfield on offense.
That's a pretty good offensive game, but you mean to tell me that this Easley kid dominates on both sides of the ball?
Dude, he dominates on both sides of the ball, doing whatever he needed to do. Might even be a Gridiron Player of the Year candidate. Stay tuned.
Hey, that's a hot take for this early in the season, but thanks for the great work. I am going to stick you to that prediction, just so you know. Our snap of the week, but oh wait, we have more than one. These first 2 snaps are the honorable mentions for this week. First is from Peyton Spencer, and it is the Trimble boys after the shutout win over Nelsonville York. They got the win, they got the trophy, they got a sick post-game photo. Thanks, Peyton, and congrats, guys. Next, for the Sheridan Generals, they didn't get off to the right start last week, so it is bounce-back week. The Generals were ready to battle the Maysville Panthers tonight as they won 21-0. And our snap of the week goes to the guys from the Cavaliers of Chillicothe. Watch this. You've probably seen a backflip catch before from pro athletes, but have you seen it in a locker room in socks? Flip, 10 out of 10. Catch, 10 out of 10, and he sticks the landing. Oh! Flame emojis for sure. So make sure to send us your snaps of the week so we can put them on the show next week. That was awesome. But you know what else is awesome? MVL football and MVL lead reporter Paul Roth. He went out to Crooksville to see the Ceramics and the Philo Electrics do battle at Village Park. Paul joins me now in the red zone, and Crooksville started off slow, but then got things moving after a big play from Brady Brannon.
Yeah, the kid was electric tonight, pun intended. But things were a little rocky for the Ceramics early. Philo came out ready to go in what would end up being a high-scoring matchup. Now to the field we go. The Ceramics captains making their way to midfield for the home opener of season 100. But Philo would be the first to strike. Casey Munyon takes the direct snap, and he's going to find a hole on the left side and burst right through it. Up the sideline, brushes off a tackler, and it's Philo up 7-0 early. Now later in the first quarter, Philo again. Hunter Adolph hits Carson Kearns on the slant. He slips out of a couple tackles there, and he's going to have no more problems the rest of the way. 88 yards, and the Electrics looked like they were going to run away with the game itself. Now the Ceramics needed a big momentum swing, and Brady Brannon delivered it. He picks off Adolph and gets a nice return with it too. 17 yards, and the Ceramics look to get back into it. Now a couple plays later, and it's going to be Brannon again. This time, the 50-50 corner ball, and he does his best Odell impression with the one-handed snag. Let him hear it, big fella. Midway through the second quarter, Caden Miller is going to hit Brannon again on the screen this time. He gets a huge block from P.J. Marolt, and he's going to take it all the way to the house. 50-yard score, and Crooksville knots things up at 14. Next Philo drive, the big hit forces the pick by Miller, and he finds his way up the sideline. A touchdown-saving block by Ethan Sprankle, and this would put the Ceramics up 8, but Philo would come back to win it, 56-43.
Wow, a back-and-forth game. Highlight plays all over the field tonight, but they nearly blew out the numbers off the scoreboard as well in this one. Pretty crazy.
For sure, Joe. Both Philo and Crooksville were firing on all cylinders offensively, and it's because each team had a huge game from one of their key players. Now, first for Crooksville, got to give the shout out to the name you've already heard a couple of times in the highlights, and you may hear it again before the end of the show. Brady Brannon was all over the place for his team tonight. He got them the momentum swing for the Ceramics with a big interception, and then on the offensive side of the ball, he had 2 touchdowns in the first half as well.
Yeah, that one-handed snag was pretty sick. We might be seeing that one later in the show.
Oh, for sure, Joe. He's a senior and a captain on this team, and that's exactly the kind of game you want out of one of your team leaders.
Now looking to Philo's side, was Casey Munyon their star tonight?
Well, I said it before the season, this guy is a true Gridiron Glory Player of the Year candidate, and he lived up to that hype tonight. The man was a dog on the ground for the Electrics as usual. But don't sleep just yet, because so was his quarterback. Hunter Adolph had 13 carries himself, and boy did he use them. 206 yards for the quick-footed QB. Oh yeah, and 5 touchdowns on the ground to go with it. He used his arm a bit too, another 257 yards through the air, as well as 2 more TDs to make it 7 on the game for him. This win for Philo was their first of the season, as they now sit at 1-1, and they'll be on the road against West Muskingum next week. And for Crooksville, while they do fall to 0-2, there's still a lot of potential for them, and they'll still be looking for their first win next week at home against Maysville.
Well, this surely was an entertaining one. Touchdowns left and right, and I know I speak for both of us when I say we're excited to see how these 2 squads do the rest of the season. Great work as always, Paul.
Thank you, Joe. It's a pleasure as always.
Thank you, man. Our show is 30 minutes long each week, but our social media is active 24/7. Go to woub.org/gridiron for written recaps of the game. Like our Gridiron Glory page on Facebook. Follow our Gridiron Glory account on Twitter, and add us on Snapchat. Tweet, snap, and post at us, because we love to see what the Gridiron fans are up to. And hey, if you want to follow me on Twitter at GGHostJoseph, you can do that too. I'm not going to stop you, and tweet at me. Let's talk some football. You bring glory, we report it. Now back to the TVC, but this time to the Hocking. 2 teams with perfect records after Week 1 faced off tonight, and TVC Hocking lead reporter Sam Wiesnith went to this conference game to see who could keep their record clean. Sam?
Yeah, both the Federal Hocking Lancers and the Southern Tornadoes started off their seasons on the right foot. But with this in mind, both teams brought the energy tonight under the lights in Stewart, Ohio. The Lancers are getting hyped up, coming off their first win of the last 4 seasons, but the Southern Tornadoes are here with hopes to rain on their parade. And Southern got off to a quick start. First play of the game, senior Trey McNichol flies down the field, picking up a touchdown in the first few seconds of the game. Tornadoes are on the board 6-0. On the Tornadoes' next drive, Gage Schuler tries to connect with Jonah Diddle, but Noah Robinson says, "Nuh-uh, not on my watch." This time, Schuler sends it back to his go-to guy, and McNichol gets it all under control. He's ready for a barrage of Lancers coming his way. He storms right on past him and straight into the end zone. Schuler back to pass. He thinks it's headed for McNichol, but Robinson has other plans. He picks up about 25 yards for the Lancers. This is going to be one of their biggest gains of the night. But on the very next play, Schuler looks to get some revenge. Here he goes. He is going to pick it off, and he will have a clear path into the end zone. The Tornadoes take this one 31-0.
Those Lancers were able to make some good plays, but the Tornadoes seemed to take this one with little contest early on.
Absolutely. This was a tough team for the Lancers to face off against, but they made a ton of improvements since we've watched them play last season. We always talk about the passing plague that affects these teams in the Hocking. But tonight, some of the Lancers' most significant gains in yardage came from passing, especially when senior Donnie McCain could connect with Noah Robinson and Elijah Lucas. That being said, the Lancers did allow Gage Schuler to get not one, but 2 pick sixes, which could have easily been avoided.
Yeah, as we've said before, Southern is a team that can pass better than anyone in the Hocking. They were unstoppable force in the air tonight against the Lancers for sure.
Though they did shut out Fed Hawk and rack up quite a few points, the Lancers defense was able to hold their own against the Tornadoes. Look at this stat coming up from senior Dylan Schwartzel. He takes out Schuler like it's nothing. I mean, this guy was able to take out big names on Southern's offense all night long. Fed Hawk defenders also kept their eye on McNichol throughout the night, but ultimately it wasn't enough to add another win to their record. The dynamic duo of Gage Schuler and Trey McNichol will for sure be one for us to keep our eye on this season. Tonight, McNichol accounted for 192 of the Tornadoes' 224 rushing yards.
Yeah, McNichol really went off tonight. Fed Hawk couldn't get the second win of the season, but this is a long season, and it is early in the year, so anything can happen. Great job by Southern, and we're watching you, Fed Hawk. Thanks, Sam. I went to Athens High School to find the fan of the week. The Bulldogs and Ironman crowds were pumped for this game, and so was I. But this fan kept my eyes away from the field and into the stands for some pretty sick dance moves. Here is our Gridiron Glory fan of the week, Brennan, a.k.a. Big B, a.k.a. B-Man. What's up, everybody? Joseph Hennessy here at Athens High School. We're here to watch the Bulldogs take on Jackson Ironman. But first, we're going to find our fan of the week. Now, sir, I have a question for sir. That didn't work out. Next fan, let's go. First off, what are your guys' names? We'll start off with that.
Mine's Elliot.
Elliot?
Yep. Caden.
Caden?
Brennan/Big B.
Okay.
Sergio.
What's going to happen tonight?
They're gonna win 50-0.
50-0? What do you think?
15-0.
50-0?
Million-0.
$1,000,000. That's a lot of touchdowns.
I dance a talent show every year.
Really?
Yeah.
Talent show?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Dance the popular song.
Really?
I got an Old Town Road dance.
First off, what's your name?
Brady,
How old are you?
12.
What are you most excited for tonight watching the Bulldogs take on Jackson?
They're gonna win.
Anything else? Anything else you guys want to say? You're on TV. Say hi to your mom.
Hi, Mom. Hi.
Little mom.
First off, what's your name?
Andrew.
Andrew, what year are you?
Senior.
Oh boy. Are you the student section leader or something?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're telling me you're not the biggest fan. You came up with beach night.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why beach night first?
Just, gotta have a party.
I got you.
Always have a party on the beach.
I got you. Okay. What do you expect out of the Bulldogs tonight?
Oh, we're about to kill him, man. This is Jackson's funeral.
Oh! We have our next fan of the week, and his name is none other than B-Man. B-Man! There you go, man.
Caden Spires.
Your fan of the week. There you go.
Great job.
Hey, there we go. Shout out to my guy Brennan for breaking out a full dance for me and the crew. We were just hanging out and he said I can do a full dance. He just told me, hey, you got to play Old Town Road, so of course I'm going to turn on Old Town Road, and he went off. Good luck in the talent show this year. The kid is all Bulldogs everything, and it was awesome to see him so excited to get the Fan of the Week t-shirt. Shout out to the Athens student section as well. They were pretty lit, I'm not going to lie, and I hate those geese. They're fake. We always appreciate seeing the fans cheering on their home team, and we love to see what everyone is tweeting about. Logan Football tweeted this out yesterday, showing co-captain Bill Shaw chasing down a Jackson Ironman ball carrier 50 years ago. Awesome throwback picture and great tweet, and I saw this on Twitter earlier this week as well, and it showcases Private First Class Chance King as a distinguished honor grad from his basic training. King is a former Sheridan General, and he says he joined the Army National Guard to be able to serve and get his degree. Chance, you're doing big things, and we recognize it. Keep it up, my man. The front seven, the big boys, arguably the funniest kids on the team. We have athletes all over our coverage that we talk about because they deserve it, but a lot of their highlight plays come from the play of the offensive and defensive line. This is a new segment we have here at Gridiron Glory. It is called Lyman Love. I love watching linemen plays. We love Pancakes here at Gridiron Glory, and we see all the work that the linemen are putting in. I said it once, I'll say it again. It starts with the play up front. If the O-line can move the D-line back and open holes for the running back, you're in great shape if you're the offense. If the defensive front sheds off blockers and is hitting your quarterback in the backfield, then it's going to be a long night for your offense. Being a lineman is one of the most brutal positions in sports. You look up and there is another big body in a three-point stance staring you down. It's rough, it's aggressive, it's full go every single play, but it's also elegant and graceful. When a lineman has to pull and knock out the D-end, he can't be slow or stuttering down the line. He has to be running full speed while also making sure his hand placement is correct and his hips are turned just the right way. It's not just I hit you and you hit me. It's a game of chess, and it's one of the most fun things to watch during a game. Again, we have highlight plays with long touchdown runs and catches, but what if your guard missed his assignment and the quarterback got lit up? How would the game plan change? What if the tackle dropped back in his stance? The D-line spins inside and his help isn't there to stop the defender. What if you run a fullback give and your center gets blown up? How do you bring glory to the gridiron? And how do you have the most fun with your teammates? I'll tell you how. Give some love to your linemen.
We have Tri-Valley on offense playing against Logan, and this play is a simple touch pass to the wide receiver running a crossing route over the middle for the first down gain. But wait, let's slow it down. Look at the center guard combo of Andy Hill and Seth Schneider for the Scotties. They're going to double the D tackle and watch Schneider finish the play off with a pancake block. The running back is there to help if necessary, and it gives Aiden Fritter some more time to throw comfortably in the pocket. Tri-Valley was doing that all night against the Chieftains. Next Lyman Love play goes to Hillsboro's Division II state qualifier and discus and tackle Draven Stodgel. 25 power action right here. He's going to block his man inside so the backfield can knock the end out and open up the running lane. But look at this, just a beautiful thing here. He's going to get his hands under the defensive lineman, drive his legs, and lift him off the ground. Then as the running back flies through the open hole, he caps off the play with a WWE finishing move. Ooh, that one's got to hurt. And he wasn't done yet. He was bullying kids all night. A run to the right this time, so he has to hit his man, then get to the next level, and he does just that. He's looking for someone to hit, and he finds his next victim, lays him out. I'm pretty sure both of Western Brown's players were jumping in the ice bath after that game, and that is some Lyman Love.
I love those plays so much. It's so exciting. It's the little things. Not many people catch it, but when you slow it down and really show it, we love some pancakes. Now, two teams with pretty good linemen battled it out tonight between the TVC Ohio and the FAC. The Bulldogs lost in week 1, and they did not want that same result this time around. The Ironmen sharpened their tools throughout the week for the heated matchup after starting 1-0. Here is our game of the week, the Jackson Ironmen versus the Athens Bulldogs. Shout out to our own Paul Roth for that video. That was awesome, my man. That was really fun to watch. Two Titans of our coverage area battled it out tonight in Athens. FAC lead reporter Will Collins and TVC Ohio lead reporter Jacob Murray were there to see it go down. All right, boys. Joey Moore and Jared Eisenhower were at the forefront of all of our conversations throughout the week. How did they both fare tonight?
Well, Joe, as Jacob and I both witnessed, actually the Jackson running game led the way for the Ironmen tonight. Their two-headed running attack of Bryce Graham and Jaden Spires was on full display.
And unlike the Ironmen's running game, the Bulldogs used their dual-threat quarterback Joey Moore to tear up Waverly's defense a week ago, but they still lost, so they were ready to go in this one.
That's right.
Jackson is a very talented football team, really physical.
We're going to break down the defense, the offense, the good and the bad from this game tonight.
Whoa, slow your roll there, Will. You know it's all about the preparation leading into the week. And look, Athens head coach Nathan White was fully aware of the opponent he was about to face when I spoke to him earlier in the week.
Jackson is a very talented football team, really physical. They get after it on defense. Offensively, they do a bunch of different things, so we'll have our hands full preparing for their offense. But other than that, you know, we have a kind of a weekly regimen that we follow no matter who we're playing.
Now, he tried to play this off as a normal game, but the 80th meeting between both sides had huge playoff implications for such an early season matchup.
Yeah, this game was huge when it comes to those playoff points, but who had the edge from the kickoff? Who had it right off the bat?
The Ironmen had the momentum from the get-go. After Tristan Prater bought a kickoff return back to the Athens 30, Jackson got rolling and didn't let off the gas all night on offense. 4 plays and a half minute later, the Ironmen scored the first touchdown of the game on a 5-yard Bryce Graham touchdown run, and their next drive was much of the same. Bryce Graham would take his second touchdown in of the night from 10 yards out, and the Ironmen ate a bunch of the clock up in the first quarter, putting them up 13-0. Throughout the night, the Ironmen took up huge amounts of time on offense, even going on an 8-minute, 16-play drive that ended in a Jared Eisenhower touchdown pass to Jaden Spires.
Now, for the Athens offense, it was a different story throughout the first half, but their offense did move the ball well. QB Joey Moore was the captain of the ship that kept the Bulldogs competitive, driving them down to the opponent 21 on their first drive, but they couldn't convert on a 4th down and the drive stalled. Now, the same thing would happen on their next drive as well, when the Bulldogs rolled down the field but couldn't complete a pass from the 9-yard line, and they would have another turnover on downs. They were blanked in the first half, but Moore came out firing in the second, completing 2 huge passes to drive them down into Ironman territory, and then they would score their first touchdown with Moore running it in himself. The Bulldogs came alive in the second half offensively, but their comeback came up just short. But Moore balled out with 3 touchdown passes in this game and throwing for over 250 passing yards.
Geez, that's a pretty good game for him. So Athens took a while to get going offensively. Was it rust, or how did the Ironmen slow down the Bulldogs' attack?
The Iron Curtain defense showed up tonight. Both the front 7 and the secondary put on a show, making plays all over the field. They kept Joey Moore's legs contained and shut down his rocket arm through the air, holding Athens scoreless in the first half and under 100 yards.
Right. The Bulldogs, on the other hand, gave up big holes throughout the first half. When they were lulled to sleep with the run, they gave up a huge play-action pass to lead to another touchdown. They settled in for the rest of the game, but all that running was too much to contain, as the Jackson Ironmen would take this one by a final score of 31-26. And after another loss for the Bulldogs, they are now in win-now mode, as they have now fallen to 0-2.
After winning this important road game, the Ironmen move on to 2-0.
Will and Jacob, as always, thanks for the great work, bringing us the excitement that was our game of the week. Thanks, guys. And another new segment we are starting is called Hit or Miss. The reporters are going to have one play where either the offensive player made the defender miss or the tackler rocked the ball carrier, and I have to guess whether it's a hit or a miss. I have not seen the plays, so I'm going to be guessing along with you at home. It's going to add in a new little flavor into our show, and I want to see some ankle breakers and Madden hit sticks. Be on the lookout for that next week. The season is starting to really move now. Week 2 is in the books, and Week 3 brings in a bunch of great matchups we can't miss. A big-time, heated rivalry. Next week is going to be a good one, so tune in Friday at 11:30 p.m. to see the full breakdown. Here's where we're going to be next week. Meg's gang, we're coming to see if you can get the W against Warren. Coulter Cleveland is putting up solid numbers this season so far, and the Marauders aren't giving up by any means. It will be a really good matchup. We knew they might struggle with a new coach and system and new players, so maybe week 3 will be the start of a winning streak after their win over Rock Hill tonight. For the MVL, Paul will be at New Lexington to see how new head coach Kevin Board and the Panthers play against the Morgan Raiders. Morgan looking to get things going after the loss to Tri-Valley tonight, but the Panthers are averaging 55 points a game so far this season, so it could be a long night for the Raiders. In the FAC, the Watkins Memorial Warriors welcome in Chillicothe. Chillicothe looking to keep momentum after the win over Mifflin tonight. New head coach Doug Pryor is looking to get this win for sure against the Warriors. Will Collins is excited for that matchup. Just ask him about it. And lastly, for the game of the week in the TVC Hocking, we have a rivalry game. The Waterford Wildcats at 2-0. The Fort Fry Cadets at 2-0. Oh boy, they do not like each other at all, and it's going to be a good game for sure. We are excited to see how the guys play with the stands filled and the loud crowd. Nick Faust, don't be eating too much gas station food and warm Mountain Dew because we want to see you ball out. We'll have a crew out there capturing the atmosphere, and I'll be there looking for the fan of the week. And as the Joker said in Batman the Dark Knight, and here we go, the top plays from the night. We got some good ones for you. Did your catch take the top place? Did your run make it on the show? Just roll the video. Let's get right into it. Come on, come on, come on. Let's roll the video. I'm excited. Come on, let's go. Start with number 5, Braden Halbert. Caleb easily with the dime to Matthew Brown for a 59-yard touchdown. Brown shrugged off the defender, walking into the end zone. Big play for Alexander. Shout out to Easley and Brown. Gage Schuler, number 4, balled out on offense tonight, but he also showed off on defense with this pick 6. He had another one to end the night. Big time play for Southern. Number 3 is an absolute beauty. Braden Halbert lifts up the Jackson Ironman and slams him to the turf. Flex your muscles, youngin'. That's a good hit. And here we go. Number 2, Crooksville on defense. Rocks the Philo receiver, ball is up in the air, and Caden Miller snags it and runs it in for the score. Miller showing off the speed here. Good play for Miller. And number 1 is Crooksville again, but this time it is Miller on offense. Look at this play. You've seen it earlier in the show, but we're going to show it again. Braden Brandon for the one-hand tutty with the 1 foot in. Ooh, what a catch, Brady. That's awesome and definitely worthy of our top play. To end the show, here's my Henny take. Conference play is so important. It's bragging rights. You beat the team down the road, and there is nothing they can do about it. Unless you meet again in the playoffs, then that aggression filled inside you if you lost can come out, or that swagger you felt when you won can be flaunted. Leave it all on the field until the final whistle blows. And also, I'm not allowed to jam out to the new Post Malone album right now, so go do that because it is straight bangers. I've listened to it 4 times a day. All right, that's it. Week 2 is in the books, people. We will see you next week, same time, same place. And remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory. You bring glory, we report it. Deuces.